Y'all get on in here. It's tea time. Yep, it's that time of the afternoon. I have my cup of tea and a fish cup. See my fish? Yep, I got me a little dainty cup today. Little thin ceramic cup. Makes me happy because it's pretty. I like pretty cups. Anyway, grab your tea. Get on in here. There's my friend Donna. Mm-mm-mm. Happy tea time. And it's good too. I'm drinking Earl Grey today. I get these little round organic tea bags. And it's just wonderful. Little cups. These are cups I've collected over the years. I get a new one, I get rid of an old one. Tea time, be happy. That's good. So y'all get on in here. We're going to talk about something out of our little wise old owl today. Still got a lot of topics in there. Yep. So when everybody gets in here, we will get started. It's been a busy day in my neighborhood. Leanne's been unpacking stuff. She promises she will be totally unpacked by Sunday and the house will be set up. You know, there is something to be said for hyperfocus. And we sidetracked people can hyperfocus with the best of them. I'm telling you. We want to get it done. We want our space back to where and Leanne and I got this book to write we're working on. We're just so excited about it. We've already been working on it today, coming up with the ideas for chapter titles and subchapter titles and getting the stuff written down and keeping notes. We got a notebook just for the new book. So everybody drink up. Grab a baby and snuggle in. Grab a puppy, a kitty. And let's just take a break and chill. So, I'm going to draw a little rabbit out of my hat. I'm going to find one. I got one right here. And then I set things up for tomorrow because that's the way we do it. Last night before we went to bed, Robert set up his coffee for tomorrow and did his before bed routine. And we are ready to go. Oh, this is good. This is what Patty and Leanne and I do all the time. Reading and learning. And continue learning. This is what we do. We get on a tear and we read until we can't read anymore. It's kind of fun to do it this way. We, get me centered in the screen. We focus on, like year before last, we read everything we could find on fasting. You know, the fasting is biblical. And so we read all we could find on that. And Jimmy Moore had a book that he wrote the introduction for, I think, or something in it of Dr. Fung's. And Leanne knows him. And we're reading right now, Eat to Beat Disease, and this is why tea time started, is Dr. Lee told us about drinking tea and how tea was good for us. And Leanne and I and Patty have just focused on lots of different things over the years. And we have this wealth of wisdom, and we have to continue to learn. And not just about our bodies, but, you know, I missed a lot in high school because we had one history teacher that all he taught was the Civil War. That's all he taught. That's all he knew how to teach. And Donna can own up to that. She was in my class, and that's all he taught was the Civil War. And we learned practically nothing about World War I and World War II and the American Revolution. We learned nothing. So, over the years, I have had to educate myself into our American history. And I just heard a great commercial on a podcast I was listening to about Hillsdale College having great things you can learn about the Constitution and different things. So studying things that interest you to learn how our system works is great. I've read some great books on the American Revolution. You know, we weren't around back then. We had no clue. But when you read about it and reach out and try to figure things out. So, you know, all the mess with North Korea. My dad fought in the Korean conflict. David McCullough has some great books. Shelby Foote does too. So when you read books about history, I like to read biographies. I've read Steve Jobs' biography. I've read Oprah Winfrey's her biography, which was not, she didn't really want it written, but I still read it. I've read biographies about everybody, and I learn a lot of things. I read a biography about the guy who was the CEO of Disney, not Walt Disney, but I can't remember his name. It starts with an E. I read about partners, and he interviewed a bunch of people he'd been partners with over the years. So reading things really makes us grow as a human. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I read 3 books on North Korea and couldn't put them down. Could not put them down because I didn't know anything about North Korea. And my father fought there. And I wanted to know. I really don't know what he did. I don't know if I could ever find his service record to see what he did over there. But I wanted to know. That's it, Bob Iger. So there are some good books out there. If you have an interest in something, if your children have an interest in something, get them a book that they're interested in, and they'll learn to read better. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. That's my big thing. I learned about Killing the SS, a Bill O'Reilly book about war criminals that went to Argentina and how they found them. So reading can be done a different way with audiobooks, and it just changes everything for you when you hear it. I'm an audio learner, so knowing what type of learner you are helps you to expand not only your vocabulary, but your knowledge of the world. Your knowledge of the... I didn't even have any European history, pretty much. I don't know anything like that. I am so blessed because I live with an encyclopedia. Alex calls Robert Uncle Google because if you need to know anything, he can answer it. And if he doesn't know it, he'll find out. But there's not much Robert doesn't know. So if I have a question about something, one time I asked Robert a question and he said, "You don't really want to know that." And I said, "First off, if I ask you something, it's because I really want to know. You know, if I ask you something," and I said, "Have you ever seen me roll my eyes at you?" And he said, "Well, no." His first wife did that. He would just start explaining something and she would just roll his eyes at him like, "Well, I don't want to hear that again." Well, he doesn't repeat himself, and if he does, he remembers he repeated himself. But I can ask a question and he has an answer for me. And he will explain things to me that doesn't make me feel like I'm stupid for asking. So any question, there's no stupid question except one that's unasked. So expand your brain power. The more you read, the more you pick up, the more you understand, the better it is. And these talking heads on TV, pooey on them. I want to read things for myself. So I pull up speeches from people that I want to read. I want to senators and Congress people, I want to look at it and read it for myself. Now, I don't usually get audios. You can get some stuff on YouTube. But the main thing is, don't ever let your curiosity die. Because when we stop learning, we slowly begin to die. So let go of being stuck doing the same thing every day. Somebody posted they only read crochet patterns. Well, that's good. It's building new patterns, doing all that. That's a great hobby. But we need to know a little bit about what's going on in the world. Yep. And I saw a bumper sticker on somebody's car the other day. And I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. It doesn't matter to me. But the main thing, what the bumper sticker said, is know the issues and vote. Know the issues and vote. That's it. So expanding your brain, learning new things. There's new stuff coming out all the time just on our bodies. Just about our health and different things. I've read books my doctor has recommended. I've read books that friends of mine have recommended. I've read books for fun, just for fun. I just finished the book just for fun. So, and I'm looking for another book to read. Leanne gave me one yesterday that I started in. I didn't get too far on it because we were getting her moved in, but the main thing is you got to read, and you got to read labels too. Reading labels is important, and the stuff they leave off of labels is real important. So, folks, have some fun by picking up something that you don't know anything about. Just get a little curious and say, oh, I'd like to know a little bit more about that. Scott Adams had a show today about DNA testing and crime fighting. And I thought, well, that's just wonderful. And Bill Pulte is, I am hoping Bill Pulte will raise some money and get all of these rape kits around the country that have not been tested to go through the DNA process to come up with, at least have a pocket of DNA for people to try to do things. So, yep, tech stuff interests me. Health stuff interests me. Mind stuff interests me. I'm not real big on cartoons. I read Scott Adams cartoons, but sometimes, since I've never worked in an office like that, I don't quite understand it. But that's okay, because I understand him perfectly. And I said the P word because his podcasts are always about something different. I'm learning about Generation 4 nuclear power and global warming. He's done a deep dive into that stuff. So you keep your mind open and you just try to learn something new every day. And I actually have a new screen saver on my new computer that pops up a new word for me. I learned a new word today. W-E-I-R. And I think it has to do with a river. Anyway, I'll have to look it back up again. So, folks, grow this brain power. It'll be good for you to do things that help you to understand the world a little better, and to maybe be a little kinder to other people. The more you know, the better it is. So let's drink up to learning a little bit and to keep learning, because people keep saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you sure can. You sure can. So reading and learning and continuing to learn, that keeps us young at heart. It really does. So here's to learning something new every day. Search for that something new. Search for that something new. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock because we're going to clean out our purses. It's Thursday. That's Friday we clean out our purses. Remember our basic weekly plan. Next month, we're going to do a load of laundry a day. So, here we go. Drink up. Robert's been reading a book about the French, before the French Revolution. And I know a little bit about Napoleon because I've read a book on him. But I didn't know much about before he took power. So and we've been discussing that at dinner. So talking about these things, it's great. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow.